One of the appeals of this book is going to be that it reaches across all denominational, cultural, ethnic, gender backgrounds. In our entire ministry to the sexually broken, that's kind of how we started, we have been continually in the search for those elements of faith that unite us, not divide us. And that's where this book got started. Debbie and I, in the course of our 21-year healing journey, have been trying to figure out what are these deepest desires of the heart, and how can we teach people how to get past the behaviors that are false substitutes for getting those desires met. How can we get by the feelings? How can we get by some meanings and perceptions that we make out of things? How can we get down past false expectations of other people? And how can we get down to the true desires of every heart? So let me just list what the 7 are. I don't, really have time today to go into great detail, but let me just ask you, as I mention these 7, to ask yourself the question, when I was growing up, or even currently today, in whatever relationships you want to consider, how well am I doing at getting these desires met? The first desire is the desire to be heard and to be understood. Now, have any of you ever said to yourself or said to somebody else, you're not listening? Or you don't get it? Or you felt, at least about somebody else, you don't get it because you don't feel heard. And again, take yourself back to when you were growing up. Some of us grew up in families where no one was there to listen, or someone told us to shut up, or whatever it was. But many of us have given up on talking. Or we take a false substitute approach. My favorite is, because I'm highly educated, I'll just keep talking to you till you're blue in the face, or I'm blue in the face, till I convince you of the rectitude of my position. Or I'll raise my voice, assuming that you might be hearing impaired or something. We see that in our counseling office all the time. The second thing is we desire to be affirmed. Now, how many of you just love it when someone says to you, you did a good job? Or someone says to you, thank you for doing that. I wager that the people in our life who had the greatest influence on us were affirming people. The third desire is the desire to be blessed, and blessing is different. When you do something, you'd like people to recognize it, but in some of our relationships, we'd like to be loved just because who we are. Blessing is about who you are as a person. Affirmation is about what you do. And how many of you would say, when you think back perhaps even to your own parents, I so long for their blessing? When Jesus was baptized, God spoke to him clearly from the heavens, didn't he? And he said, this is my son with whom I am well pleased. He hadn't done anything yet. Made some few chairs and tables, I suppose, for his earthly father. But his heavenly father was well pleased, and he hadn't done anything yet. That's what we're all longing for, I believe. Down deep in our heart, someone to love us, be proud of us just for who we are.